Hello everyone. Right, it's been a couple of weeks since we started working on Stitch Yoda or Stoda or whatever we're going to call him. And we printed out his lightsaber. Focus? Yep. Right. Now, once we got it out of the printer, I realised probably a little small. And when I gave it to Yoda, see, it doesn't quite look right. So I went off and printed a slightly bigger one. Unfortunately, it snapped when I was cleaning it up. I'm gonna have to glue that back on. But again, jump cut. That looks like a much better size, much more what it should. So what I'm gonna do now is start on the next bit. The next bit is need the lightsaber blade itself, which means I need to measure that for scale, and then that for scale, and most importantly that end bit for scale, and then do some maths, because what I'm going to do then is jump onto the computer, onto a program called Tinkercad, which will be my first time playing with this modelling software. Because I'm going to be modelling things, I'm actually going to... Yoda is the big thing that I'm going to work on, but I'm actually also going to work on my first practical thing. So my clothes horse came and it was missing a part. So there's this part here, this little tubey thing, that holds the shelves of my drying clothes horse thing. Clothes error. I don't know. Anyway, I only had one of those when I needed two, so I'm also gonna measure that and model that and then print it out, making it my first practical print. So 1 second while I use of the ever accurate tape measure. I did not get a better measuring equipment in the interim, because of course I did. And then I'll see you on the PC. Right, so I've done my measuring, and as you can see on the screen, I've got some sizes for some things. Before we get into the actual modelling, the first thing we need to know is what size do we need the blade to be? Now, for the printed model, for the stuffed model, these were the sizes of how long the hilt is versus how long the blade is. So it turns out when I scaled up the 3D print, I got it to almost the same size. It's actually slightly bigger, but its blade's going to be slightly narrower because the Saber Toys blade width was 18mm, whereas the lightsaber blade that I'm about to print will be only 10mm. This is there's a little nubbin inside on the top of the thing that I'm going to cut out, but we'll get to that. Main thing here is how long does the blade need to be? Now for that, I need to do some maths, and what I actually need to know is the ratio of the hilt to blade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in these numbers. So if I put in the 48 to 146 and calculate C1, this will tell me in ratio terms. So it's a 1 to 3 ratio. I could have told you that. I could have guessed that based on the numbers. It's fairly obvious. It was 50 to 150 rounded up, but this is because now what I want to do is do the maths on this side. So I'm actually going to nab the exact ratio and put this in here and go 1 to 3.04166666 recurring. And for the C, we have the length of the hilt on the printed one, and that should calculate me out a 161.2 mil. So I'm not going to round that up. So what we want as our figure for the length of the blade is 1.61mm. So now that we know how big the thing is, we've got to design it, I guess. And thankfully it's a very simple model, which means I shouldn't have too much of a problem doing this, he says overconfidently, and probably going to regret this. Anyway, tool that I'm going to use for this is Tinkercad. Now Tinkercad is made by Autodesk, and they do a lot of 3D modelling, and Tinkercad is actually a free web-based 3D modelling software. So you get a bunch of shapes and text and connectors and all kinds of things. So you want to build a 3D dinosaur, boom, you drop that in, pull that in, and then you can flip it and pick it up. I should be able to. Oh god, it's a bit awkward to use. So there is my badly positioned. Thankfully I don't have to build anything that connects. Is that right? There we go. So there I built a dinosaur's head. Upside down, obviously. Using the bits that they've given us. It's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is the simple stuff, so I want basic shapes. Now, in both of my cases, we're going to look at the top view and start with this. So this is working on a 1mm grid, which means we get some snapping, and over here we've got all of our boxes. So you can use the normal cylinder box to build the shape, and this stripy one is apparently a hole block. Let's do the
the simpler thing first, the one that we know. Well, it's not the simple thing. The drying rack thing first, because that's going to be the simple one to do. Because they actually have, where is it? A tube piece. So let's drop the tube in there as a starter. And what we want, okay, so the wall thickness on ours is 3 millimeters. So we need a 3 millimeter wall thickness. We don't need it to bevel. Its radius needs to be 11 millimeters. Okay, so that's its width. Let's rack the sides up as high as we physically can, because I want this as smooth as possible. So we want it to be 11 millimeters by 11 millimeters. Okay, and that's the model. We need to set the height. It should be that one there, and the length of this thing we scaled at 24 millimeters. So that, get on that, 24 millimeters. So that, in effect, is my first simple model. Now I have no idea if that's going to work, and what I now need to do to get this into the print thing is go to the export and export as STL, and it's called this epic bumble. Fine, this is an epic bumble. We'll have that. Then I should show in folder, rack that over there, and quickly fire up Box. I'll do that in a second. Now I should be able to drop epic bumble in there, and there it is. So that is my first 3D model created in Tinkercad, ready to print. I'm going to duplicate it, and then auto layout, and stick that on there. Now I don't think that actually needs any supports, but I might punch a hole in it, just for pressure, because it won't bother me if there's a hole in it. So now they both have holes in. Okay, because otherwise that would have created a vacuum in there. I don't think it would have caused a problem, but better safe than sorry. So back to Tinkercad, because now we're doing something. Now we've got to do a slightly more complex thing. We need to create our lightsaber, which is basically a cylinder. What? Why are you so? Right, so again, we're going to whack up the number of sides because we want it as smooth as possible. But we now need to set the size. So we worked out, well, I measured, as per our thing here, that we need it to be 10 millimeters. So I'm going to just going to do this. 10 by 10. Okay. So that's a very narrow tube. And what I'm now going to do is, before I worry about the size, I'm going to pull in a whole cylinder and give that a size of 8 by 8, which is narrower than this. Then So we'll make that 1mm thick. And then if I do what I think should happen is if I do this, then hopefully I've done that right and I'll be able to check this. So let's export that now and check that in Jitterbox, because I want to see if that has modelled a hole in it, because this is the first time I've done it, so I don't know. In you come. Nope, there is no hole in that. Right. Okay, so what did I do wrong? Export that. Maybe if I've got both of them. Learning time. Dunk. No, again, still not there. Right. Okay. So what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Aha, that looks different. Right, so by grouping them, did that. My mouse is playing up. So now... No, still no hole. What the actual... Hang on. No, hang on. Am I just being blind because I made it a what? Yep, okay, never mind. I needed to make it deeper. Okay, right, stop. Right, let's try this again. You know what? Let's put the hole in the top. And then... So yeah, you can see it there, and I've made it that small. You can't see it. Right. Okay, so now we've got our grouped model, and there's a bigger hole punched in there. I'm just going to download that STL and try it again. Export. STL. There we go. Okay. So it's got that in a ring before it beams. Whoa, where are you going? Oh, this thing's playing up. Maybe I do need to update it. Right. Anyway, let's get back. So we've got our little cutout in the bottom, which is what I wanted. Now we need to make sure that this thing is long enough, so it's the right width and the right diameter. Now we worked out that it needed to be 161 millimeters high. Now, before we do that, we need to deal with its top. So that needs to be 10 by 10. And this is what I like about this, that the pre-made shapes all exist, right? And now you look wrong. You look too domey. So if you were 10 before, I'm going to make you 5 mil, so that you actually look like a dome again. Right, that's great. And then, so then I need to take 5 millimeters away from the 161, which means you need to not be 161, you need to be 156, because now just move this over here, because that needs to go on the top there. And then I need to zoom in and up there to make sure it's actually connected. And that looks like a thing that I shouldn't be drawing on a... Thank God this isn't on the toy channel. Right, so we want that there. So that is our lightsaber beam. Group them together. So that's now one model. And now let's export that and see what Jitterbox does with it. Now, oh dear, we have a problem in that the fucking thing that is now too long to fit in to the printer. Okay, so we are going to have to reorientate this, which means we're going to have support materials on it, which I'm not happy about it, but I would rather that than try and get it to the wrong scale. The other option is do a short on the blade and change the ratio. So let's have a look at Yoda's lightsaber, because yeah, the ratio between the hilt and the blade is quite long. So do I really want to change the ratio? Because if I change the ratio and it doesn't look right, I'm going to have to print it again. Oh, difficult choice. I'll tilt it. Right, let's align it. You can go away. And I've drawn... Fuck me. I've drawn a fucking giant cock and balls. I have drawn a robot penis. Oh well. So it only thinks it needs that one support. Well, it would, wouldn't it? Because everything on there does print. Right, I'm going to put some additional supports in. Because I think if I trusted it to just the one, something would go wrong. Okay, so that's ready to go. So just double check. Yep, you now fit within the build plate. And I've got these ready to go. On there. Okay. And if I'm printing anyway, I'm now going to go find something to stick on here. But I'll be printing in green. But what am I going to print? Okay, so I've put a Yoda on there, naturally. This is the same Yoda that I tried to print a couple of weeks back to fill up the build plate. That went wrong. So I've shown pictures of him. He looks like he's sinking into a swamp holding that holocron. So let's see if we can get a new copy of him. I'm just going to delete a couple of these supports because I don't think that one's necessary, or that one, or that one. And I'd rather not have the marks if I don't have to. That one I think I can get away with as well. That one I'll leave just because that one, again, don't really think that's necessary. I don't know if they are. The top of the holocron isn't. You aren't. The rest of them I will leave. I'm not going to hollow him because at this point I've not hollowed the lightsaber either. So I'll just make do. So let's have a look and slicey. I'll change the settings. And not using the black resin, we're using the clear green resin. And we're gonna knock down the layer height to 2.2 millimeters. Yeah, so we're gonna make it a finer, more detailed print. Okay, so let's slice. Because yeah, up until now I've been using the default layer height, and I've been bloody impressed by that so far. But let's see if we can take it up a notch. See how smooth we can get this. Right, and that's ready to... Jesus Christ, no, I've just seen the time on that because I want it at that detail. No, I do not need it at that detail. Jesus Christ. 27 hours to print that. No. Settings, back to 0.5 mil. Fucking hell. There we go, 11 hours, that's better. Right, okay. Let's save that. And you've seen me do this before, so I'm just going to put this on the pen drive, get this in the printer, get it going, and then we'll check in on it tomorrow morning, because it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. So that'll be, possibly about 2-3 a.m. that this thing finishes printing. No, it'll be later, because I've got to empty out the printer and get it on the green resin. Anyway, I'm going to go do that, and we'll see you once it's done.
Next morning, this finished printing about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've just left it on the tray, so I can't grab the shell on my own. But there's my print, so there's my little drying rail things, there's me space taking Yoda, and there's the lightsaber, which is actually maxing out the build. Wow. So I'm going to get these out, give them a clean, and then we'll take a look at them in the living room. You don't need to see the clean, you've seen it before. Okay, so I've got the build plate off, and actually it would appear Cheetah Box lied to me, because it actually capped out the tip of Yoda's lightsaber ends early. So I may have to redesign this print bit. And also this bit that hollowed out at the bottom, I thought I only hollowed it out to be 1 mil, but apparently I must have punched a massive hole in it. Oh well. Right, they're out of their UV curing thing, and let's have a look at these. So let's take a look at the Yoda. So this time he's come out a lot better. A couple of scuffs where I've had to take spots off. Let's compare him. Hang on 1 second. Yeah, I think he fared a little better than his previous version. So now he's got his little holocron in his happy little face. But he was just to fill the plate, so he's not important. Over there, baby Yoda. Right. So there were 2 things that we're doing here. Right, so the main one was... Actually, I'm not going to put this down. Was the lightsaber blade. So, we were trying to replace this lightsaber blade. So lengthwise, considering we had a slightly bigger hilt, I think we've actually got that quite well to scale. That actually looks really good. It would look a lot better if the printer had not dropped off the top. But looking at this scale, I think that we could get away with shortening that by about 10 mil. Do something about that hollowing so it's solid all the way through, and yeah, I think that would do the job. Now whether or not I've got enough green resin left to do that, I don't know, but I will print that off separately, and we'll come back in another video when I do the paint job on that handle and finish that off and permanently finish Stitch. Your blade's nearly done. It does look good. It looks so much better than the stuffed toy one. But the other thing that I wanted to show you was these. So, as I said, my drying rack was missing one of these. So, I modelled that. And they've come out really well. So if we compare them top on, yeah, the one that I've designed is slightly wider on the inside at this end, but at this end it looks spot on. And what I'm going to do now is actually just put them to use. So let's go into the kitchen. So this is the drying rack that I was on, and I've put the blue thing back on, so as you can see that is supposed to be there and attached into that thing there, like all the rest of them. But I'm missing one for this end because it looks like this has been moulded wrong, well, bent wrong, and it's shorter. So what I'm going to do is use these as replacements, and give me 1 second because I need both hands for this. And now I have a working thing. Unfortunately, not as working as I was hoping for, because these, well, once it's clipped in, they're okay, but when they're not clipped in, there's a lot more giving them than I would like. But, again, it's better than it was before, because at least that top shelf is now functional. So I have now officially printed something practical, which is worrying, because it means things are getting, it means I've got ideas. I have many ideas. But anyway, I'm going to leave the video there. I'll come back. I'm away for a week. And, yeah, I'll be back in the next video finishing off Yoda's lightsaber. I'll probably print his replacement blade off camera. But yeah, see you next time. Bye.